Bonjour, je suis not manly, et ici le voyage d'espace. Because that's what it felt like trying to explore Krell, the first moon of Lindor, a mere 300 kilometers across, only a quarter of a microkerbin in mass. A really tiny moon. I think they were trying to emulate the Saturnian moon of Mimas here. One day is just over 32 hours. It is tidally locked with Lindor. It has a bigger inclination than Lathe does, but still pretty easily approachable for the average Kerbal Space Program player. We're going to use a Krell as the baseline, but landing and ascending is about 250 meters per second, just like stock Minmus. In fact, it's so much like stock Minmus that Kerbal EVA packs could land and ascend on here barely. It's a Minmus-like world with a very high science multiplier. It has very interesting artifacts all over the surface. In fact, some of those artifacts prove to be quite deadly here. It only has 4 biomes, and aside from one crater, it's pretty rough terrain, and those poles are strange and dangerous, at least while I played through it. When we left our heroes Chris, Roberta Lynn, and Jenny Ann McKerman, they were in a polar orbit above Lindor getting ready for their approach to Krell, and they're not being very efficient here, but hey, you know, we're using that Orion nuclear pulse, and we've got Delta V for weeks. And there we go, nice close approach. Kerbal Engineer says that Krell has a sphere of influence of over 600 kilometers, but in my experience, I could not get anything out of Krell's sphere of influence until about 420 kilometers up. I'm not sure what's up with that, who's getting their numbers from where, but hey, that was just one minor problem of quite a few other problems I came up here with Mimas or Krell here. Oh boy, who thought the tiny moon orbiting Lindor would give me so much trouble? Anyway, at least up from space, it's a gorgeous moon, again trying to be quite like Minmus or Mimas as such. Look at that. I'm running Kerbal Space Program 1.10.1 with the Copernicus Bleeding Edge edition here, and that's what I was using back in part 17.5 as well, exploring Kerbin. And after closing to a low Krell orbit, we get ready to drop off the Talos rover. This is the same rover we tested on Minmus, and Jenny Ann has plenty of experience flying this craft down to the surface of Minmus and back, so she should have no problem flying to the surface of Mimas or Krell and back. Okay, a bit of undocking here, full tanks, ready to land and ascend here. And look at that. Roberta Lynn Kerman's coming along here for the ride here. She's actually at the controls. Jenny Ann coaching her along the way, introducing her to those actuators that rotate those Twitch side-mounted engines, radio-mounted engines. The descent was nothing unusual here. If you can land on Minmus, you can land on Krell without any issue. I've got that docking port up there to use as a reference. I control from there so I can be able to land with the engines in a vertical position here. Oh, look at that. And there we go. Get some EVA in there as well, see if we can reset those containers. No, okay. One of the things is the science flavor texts are again generic. Special ones were not set up for any of the non-stock worlds in JNSQ. But hey, no worries there. The science points are indeed real. Here's that large crater here. This is the flattest spot that we could land on reasonably safely. The rest of the surface was pretty wild to try to land on. There is another crater just to the northeast of this location, a much smaller one, but it's in its own biome so that we can get science from that other crater as well. Fairly easy descent here. In fact, I got a little cocky here and I thought, okay, well, let's see if we can try an IVA landing. So I got this thing pointed retrograde based on that docking port on the top there. Then I switched over to IVA view and, well, you can see what happened in a bit. Looks like it started controlling from the cockpit instead of from that docking port. And Roberta Lynn here paid the price for that. Oh my goodness. Like, why am I not slowing down? Why am I speeding up? Oh. Okay. That's on me. Anyway, we try this again. I get smarter about it. I tried to reduce my horizontal speed down to as close to 0 as I could, and then I changed the control to the cockpit. There we go. So that we could do this IVA landing a little more intelligent-like. Look at that. Roberta Lynn is having the time of her life with her almost 360-degree view of this moon. Oh, there we go. There's the main mission craft up there, not very far away. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous world, just like most of the JNSQ worlds are beautiful to look at. We're almost ready to touch down. I've got Kerbal Engineer and the radar altimeter on the IVA display there to help out. Here we go. And touchdown. Funny that the IVA altimeter is still saying it's above 0, but I don't know. Oh, I was looking at the wrong dial. There we go. Now Roberta gets a chance to stretch her legs and reset those instruments. So her and Jenny Ann are going to do some exploring of the surface of Krell. Nothing too crazy here. In the meantime, Chris is heading up to a high polar orbit to try to look for any anomalies. We don't show them here, but we do find 2 anomalies on the surface of Krell. One is on the very, very top of the North Pole. And I'll explain how that worked in just a bit, but first, we ran into some more problems here. Oh well. Anyway, like I've always been doing with Bon Voyage, I do a quick save beforehand and we try the trip again. And we get out here to the Highlands safely. Again, a quick jolt of time work to fix the craft issues we've been running into. And there we go. That's that Highlands crater. A little less flat, but certainly safe to land on. As we were moving along here, sometimes the rover wheels would sink below the surface and it would say the wheels weren't touching the ground. Oh boy. Anyway, another quick save and reload fixed that. And we were able to get that fixed up, at least as soon as we turned off some of the extra wheels that we didn't need for Bon Voyage. Oh, and there we go. We head up to the poles, and here is one of the anomalies. It is another mohole. There's lots of these apparently. Here's a bit of a spoiler, the majority of the non-stock worlds use moho as a template, which means that the North Pole is always going to be marked as an anomaly, and there will always be a random monolith as well, but we don't go looking for it here. Oh, the wheels have sunk into the ground again. Oh well. Look at that. Lindor in the horizon there. We do find some breaking ground objects out here. We find what looks like moonstone. What just happened there? Let's try again with Roberta here. Oh. After a couple more tries of that, I gave up on that and we decided to go exploring the mohole. I send Jenny Ann down here to see how low we could get. You'd think after already with moonstones blowing us up, we would be risking our lives here, but hey, that's what quick saves are for. We get down to about 300 meters before Jenny Ann says, nope, that's enough, I'm getting out of here. This mohole does have a bit of a ridge here where we can at least touch down reasonably safely and plant a flag. And there we go, we can at least mark this place. There we go. Plant that imaginary flag. Jenny Ann, where's the flag? We gave up on that and tried once more. Yeah, that didn't work out so hot. We gave up on that and we decided to go much further south, thinking maybe the further away from the pole, the more normal things were going to be. And there we go. We go down there and we're still in the poles, but we still have one of these breaking ground objects here. And we're not exploding, that's a good sign there. We approach really carefully. I am playing it back at 4 times speed though, but I was very nervous approaching this thing. Oh boy. But hey, 420 science is good, but bringing back a souvenir is better if we can. And well, if the scanning arm could do it, maybe Roberta could do it as well. So we move the rover out to a safe distance and we try approaching one more time with one of these things. Fortunately, Roberta did not spontaneously combust, and we were able to bring back a piece of moonstone from the surface of Krell. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Bring it back for some posterity there. There we go. We head back up to the North Pole because we found that anomaly up there. We land on what I thought was a reasonably safe spot, and we're going to plant a flag, or try to plant another flag. Okay, here we go, Roberta, your turn! Oh boy, not another imaginary flag. But apparently we could name the site anyway. Where's the flag? Oh boy, this world eats flags. Apparently it also eats Kerbals. We're just going to get out of here. Oh boy. Anyway, I go and I ignite that rear engine, and that was not a good time to do it. But anyway, let's just get out of here. Rendezvous with Chris. What the? That was the flag! Where'd the flag come from? Okay! After fixing the orientation of those twitch engines, we make a burn straight up. We're looking for Chris. We're just gonna beeline out of there and hope to heck we don't run into any more trouble on this surface. Well, a bit of rendezvous and docking later. We do rendezvous with the main mission craft, and we're able to fill up its fuel tanks to get ready for Aiden coming up in the next episode. A little later on, Jenny Ann does strut this thing up before Chris decides to take it back down to low Krell orbit. You know what? It only takes a little bit of Delta V to get down there and back. Let's just try one more time to plant a flag. Remembering what trouble that Julie gave Chris here last time, Chris takes it upon himself to descend to the surface of Krell and hopefully come back to orbit in one piece. Oh boy. Oh. After I completed this, I was able to do some troubleshooting. I tested that JNSQ on KSP 1.81, 1.91, and even 1.73 worked just fine. There's something going on with this bleeding edge Copernicus, but I was able to erase the world caches and get the current version of this, and we had fewer problems. Kerbals didn't spontaneously combust, but we still had trouble planting flags. But hey, I'll do those outtakes in another episode. In the meantime, Chris here is going to finally touch down safely and hopefully plant a real flag. Oh, thank goodness for that. Oh, Krell, at least we've done our last piece of work here. Let's get back to orbit. Now, Chris's EVA pack is a little low. I don't know how much Delta V the pack has at this point. But when it got pretty dangerously low to less than 1 unit, I waited till we got to Apoapsis and then just closed orbit. Then we brought it down to go catch up with him in the main mission craft. That made a lot more sense than trying to use the remaining EVA fuel just to get up to the craft and then save it for maneuvers. Fortunately, we were able to get Chris into a safe low orbit at about 14 kilometers up, The main mission craft used gentle thrust to rendezvous with Chris, and we were able to catch up with him. Oh, thank goodness for that. Get aboard that craft so we can get you guys out to Aiden. Oh boy. Well, you'll get to see the next episode of VVVVVVVV before we head out to Aiden. But until then, I'm not manly. Fly safe.